Welcome back to the channel. Today we're reviewing the KBO Breeze Step-Thru bike. We're going to talk about the price, the assembly, the features, the ride, and what I do and don't like about the bike. Let's get into it. Starting off with the price, the KBO comes in at $1,500, and this is pretty mid-range for electric bikes. This is the first one I've had, but when I looked at prices, it seems like most tend to range from $1,200 to $2,000. Another nice thing with this price is you get a couple of add-ons with the bike. You get the fender in the back and the front, you get this rack on the back, and you get the water bottle holder. So you get a little bit more than just the bike. Moving on to assembly. Now, I didn't assemble this bike because this is my girlfriend's bike and she put it together, but I'm gonna relay what she said about assembly. Overall, she said it was pretty simple. You know, there were steps to follow, but they had a video and the steps you had to do were pretty straightforward. She did say though, that when you're putting this together, it's a lot easier if you have a second person to help you put it together. I was unfortunately not there to be able to help her, but if you do have a second person, that will help. Another big thing to call out with assembly is that you have to inflate the tires yourself. So you need to have an air pump, and this is not included. Now talking about features, let's start with the key stats. The KBO goes up to 22 miles per hour, and that's without pedal assist, so that's just the throttle. If you pedal, you go faster than that. It has a 750 watt motor, and it has a range of 42 miles. And we've noticed with the range that, as with any bike or scooter, it's lower in a real world environment, especially if you're riding in a hilly area. Now looking at the bike from the top to the bottom, starting off with the handlebars, we already have a ton of features right here. We've got a front and a rear brake. On the right, we have our gear switcher, and on the left, we have a display that shows us all of our settings on the bike. Focusing on the screen, we also have a lot of features built in here. You can see your battery, you can see your speed, and you can change the pedal assist. This basically means the higher your number on pedal assist, the more power it'll give you as you pedal. So it's like pedaling plus the motor. Moving down the bike, we get to where the battery is stored. In the front here, we have a slot so you can charge the battery while it's still in the bike. You can also charge it while it's not in the bike. And in the back, we have a little key slot where you unlock the battery. So you put the key in, unlock, you can grab these little handles here, and you need a little force to get it out. It's not too bad. And you can pull it out, and you get the battery. And I don't know if you can tell, but this thing is heavy. Probably the bulk of the weight of this bike comes from the battery, and this is a nice one. And I really like how this works. It's very accessible to get the battery in and out. It's really easy to charge it in or out of the bike. So I really like how the KBO handles the power of the battery. Now moving over to the seat, we're gonna hit on the extras. The seat, I've found that it's comfortable and it fits riders of all heights. So I'm 6'1", I felt comfortable on it. My girlfriend is 5'6", she felt comfortable on it. So the KBO really suits riders of all types. Then looking at the lights on the back and the front, these are nice, they come with the scooter, and you can use the panel up here to turn them on and off. Now moving down to the tires and the suspension. So it comes with a fork suspension, and this feels pretty nice. I've been riding over kind of bumpy roads, bumpy sidewalks, and you don't really feel it, so it's a nice smooth ride. And then we have nice disc brakes on both wheels. So overall, you can stop and start immediately, the ride is smooth, and overall, it's nice. Now let's talk about the ride. The KBO is a very fun bike. This is the first electric bike I've ever had, and I've been having a blast riding it around. So I usually use just the throttle. There's a throttle right here. You don't have to pedal. It takes you up to 22 miles per hour, and it's a lot of fun. The motor has a lot of torque. You feel like you accelerate pretty quickly, and because you can go up to 22 miles per hour faster if you're pedaling, you feel right at home in the road. So whereas with a scooter, you might not want to get in the road. With a bike, you can keep up with the cars and not feel like a nuisance. If you do want to use the pedal assist, I found it a little bit weird. I'm not someone who's used pedal assist before, so this might be standard, but I found there's kind of a feeling of a delay of when you pedal and then when the assist comes in, so it feels a little bit jerky when you pedal. Then moving down to the suspension and the wheels, it's a very smooth ride. You've got a solid suspension, solid wheels. Now let's talk about the pros and cons of the KBO. Up until now, I've mostly hit on the pros because overall, I really like this bike. It's got a fair price, it's a fun ride, got a lot of great features, and it's overall a bike I recommend. But there are a couple of cons I want to call out. First is that it has a lot of wires, and the wires can get a little bit messy. So you do put the bike together yourself, so this might be just us not putting it together very well and cleaning up the wires. Second is that the bike makes a lot of noise. So when I ride around, there's some clanging, and the motor itself is pretty noisy. It's not so much that it's obnoxious, but you definitely notice the noise when you're riding. Lastly, this is a big, heavy bike. The KBO is 62 pounds, which is a good like 5 pounds heavier than your average electric bike. And it's just overall pretty big. It's hard to, store, hard to take in a car with you. The only counterpoint to that is that the front tire comes off pretty easily, which does help you take it around. All in all, the KBO is a fantastic bike and a bike I recommend to anyone. My girlfriend has been using it for a couple weeks now. She uses it for her commute. She goes 4 miles to school, 4 miles back. It takes her around 12 minutes. She says it's fun, it's easy, and it's much better than driving in a car. So the bike has a couple of quirks, but really overall, it's a great value, great bike, and I recommend the KBO Breeze Step-Thru to anybody.